Why, hello there. In today's video, we will be covering a topic that we must look at with the utmost care and importance so that we can prevent it from happening both now and hundreds of thousands of years in the future. From Miami, Florida to Venice, Italy, many cities are beginning to fall under risk of heavy damage from the rising sea levels of climate change. In today's video, we will explore the issue at hand and see whether or not your city might be in trouble. As many of you might already know, the exuberant amount of greenhouse gases that are emitted every day in our atmosphere is causing a great tear on our planet's environment. As the heat of the Earth grows, with 2020 being almost a full degree Celsius above the average of the 20th century, the ice caps are rapidly melting. Although this may only seem problematic for the creatures that live in the icy areas that are being damaged, it is also a major concern and issue for humans too. The melting ice caps provide a great deal of water, which causes a continuous rise in sea levels for our nation. In 2020, for example, the sea level rose 3.6 inches above the 1993 average. To prove just how big this issue is, and to put it in a more understandable perspective, let's show you what cities may soon be underwater. The capital of Thailand is currently only 1.5 meters above sea level, and due to its foundations, it is at even greater risk of flooding. The city is sinking at a momentous rate of approximately 1 inch per year, and due to the dense clay soil it's built upon, makes it even more prone to flooding. Heck, even by the year of 2030, most of the country's coastlines will already be underwater, as well as the main airport, causing major structural and environmental damage. This major city has thrived in its recent history because of its fertile soil, but due to the rising sea levels, this could all change. With most of the city's coastal lands sinking underwater, monsoon season could soon be a big and upcoming problem, with there being a lack of land for rainwater to run into. Overall, this city could suffer great amounts of structural and economic damage as the water continues to ravage their plantations and farms. Although the city is unlikely to find itself underwater by 2030, predictions show how many of its eastern districts will fall to the waves, with the Mekong Delta proving to be increasingly threatening. Another issue it will experience is an increased threat of flooding and tropical storms, now more susceptible to internal structures being damaged because of the potential collapse of major dams. Venice is in trouble, double over. The city is sinking, though not as much as Bangkok, and is rising at a rate that we simply cannot stop. The city will likely experience an increased frequency of high tides that would submerge it, and although it has the proper defense systems put in place, things will only become more difficult and expensive to maintain. Another point to add is the city's issues with waterborne illnesses, which just already adds to its many other problems of climate change. Amsterdam, the capital of the Netherlands, is arguably the prime example of the issues of climate change. The Netherlands is located in an area known as the lowlands, alongside Belgium and Luxembourg, which is called such because of the quality of its lands, which is underneath sea level. The cities of the Netherlands have always maintained their flood defenses, that being dikes, dams, barriers, levees, and floodgates. But as sea levels continue to rise, it isn't long until Amsterdam becomes an island or even a lost city. In America, although many parts of the coastline will disappear, there are some main cities most at risk of going under. Here are the top 5 cities in the United States that are bound to be completely submerged underwater. By as soon as 2050, this major northwestern city could begin to be flooded by the high tide caused by global warming. Seattle, unlike most of the other mentioned cities in its lack of beaches, will still receive major damage to its beautiful lands due to extreme precipitation, as sea levels will rise 10 inches in just the next 25 years. Unless we change our daily habits and start creating sustainable infrastructure, it will begin to become prone to disaster and destruction, which will follow with devastating effects. This key city in American society is predicted to be submerged even before the year of 2040. Nature's already taken its toll plenty of times, especially in the infamous Hurricane Katrina of 2005. But the city's attempts at coastal restoration projects will become useless, flooded even before their millions of dollars worth of construction can even finish. Miami. It's known for its beautiful beaches. But this wonderful city could be submerged by 2050, if not sooner. In fact, flooding is already starting to begin now, with the city's location below sea level proving it to be in a bad position for protection. According to a study conducted by the Risky Business Project, $15 to $23 billion worth of property is here and could be underwater by 2055. This would render about 1/3 or 800,000 Miami-Dade citizens while at home, due to the limestone's innate porous ability to pour water on roads. Most measures can only temporarily mitigate the effects, and it'll be too expensive to maintain them. Hence, the damages grow. Although its large size prevents it from being fully submerged underwater, many coastal areas of LA, including popular Santa Monica, Venice, and Long Beach, will fully be destroyed. These touristy and beautiful places will result in up to $9 billion worth of damage by 2015 onwards. Encroaching seas and tides won't just increase coastal flooding, but will also erode many cliffs and rising groundwater levels. About 4 feet of higher water levels would cause daily flooding for nearly 30,000 vulnerable residents of San Francisco Bay Area, and approximately 2/3 of Southern California beaches will be completely eroded by 2100. And despite many parts of the city being safe, the hazardous rising sea levels will destroy much of its innocence and overall beauty. Although it won't suffer as quickly as most of the other cities, Long Island and the lands of New York City upon it are in a dangerous coastal position. It's already built on an island, and since it exits through an ocean, it will definitely see risk. When sea levels rise just another 5 feet, many portions of Manhattan and LaGuardia Airport will soon be underwater. However, these issues are a little bit away. Things will soon begin to go wrong though, as even a slight increase in sea levels will begin to create issues along the coast of the Big Apple. And maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to see what the Statue of Liberty looks like underwater. Oh, and by the way, the Statue of Liberty's height is over 305 feet. So, with the correct calculations, we could see it in underwater in just 40 years. So, as you can see, if we don't band together and stop our carbon emissions, many of our world's beautiful cities, maybe even ones near you, will soon be submerged. It's up to us to maintain our worlds for the better, for both ourselves and our descendants to come, so that they can live in a world free of pollution, flooding, and the unpleasant effects of climate change. So let's stop climate change together. As always, RipperRod out. Peace. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode on RipperRod Science. If you want to see more awesome content like this and want to consider subscribing, you can click this button right here. If you want to see my latest video on the channel that I just uploaded, you can click right here. Well, that's it guys for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.